Hey Jim, so more feedback for you. Um, on Jackson's neck and elbow and thumb, it looks like the pictures overlap instead of merging together. Um, and then also on Adam's tag. Um, and also, can we put the tag? I feel like the tag would be behind his chin, not in front of his chin. So can we kind of tuck it behind his chin? Um, for the second page, um, I think we need some more space around the text here. And if you look at the first story, you can see, I'd like to keep it close to what it was in the first story. And also like to keep it consistent throughout the whole story. So if in this story, all the text should have the same spacing around the text. That'd be great. Uh, so also throughout the story, I'd like to keep the text in as close to a rectangle shape as possible. So right here, after the period, you did a line break and started a new line. If we could keep, Adam sat and whined maybe here, but try to keep any white space at the end of the last line and try to keep all the text in a square shape. So like this one is great. This one's a square. Yeah. So then we've got down to page 9. These look really great, by the way. I love this. Um, mm. So this text needs to be the Boogaloo font and be 30 pixels. Um, and I know it's a lot of text for this screen, so I don't know. Maybe to fit it in, maybe you could kind of zoom out. Make everything a little smaller to make more room for the text. Not sure how you want to do that, but I'd like that text to be the size of it and the font to be consistent. And then on to page 12. Um, I was thinking if we could put a white border around each letter, I think maybe it would help it stand out a little bit more. Um, Also, if we could make Adam a little cuter here, um, just he looks a little just slightly scary. Um, Also here, same thing. Let's not do a line break at the end of each sentence. Let's try to make this a rectangle. The the shape of the text be a rectangle. And then also the fins here, they kind of stick out more wider on other parts of it, and here they're kind of squished in a little bit. It'd be great if we could just pull them out a little bit so they match um, other parts of the story. And page 13. Um, if we could make the sun bigger, maybe take up more of the space there, just kind of ex- uh, expand what you have there. You don't need to change it, just make the whole thing bigger. That'd be great. And again, trying to keep the shape of the text a rectangle instead of leaving open space here. And it's okay to break up the sentences, but try to keep this a rectangle, and that'll probably shrink this box a little bit too when you do that. Then page 14. Uh, I'd like to keep all the text boxes a rectangle and not do this with it. Um, and so it's going to be harder to fit, to not obscure this. So maybe again you want to zoom out a little bit to make a little room for the text. And also trying to keep the shape of the text as a rectangle, to try to make this uniform here. And 15, here the porthole, I get that it's elongated because the rocket is sort of tilted, but can we make it not quite so much so? Make this a little bit closer to a circle, bring it down a little bit. And again, trying to keep the shape of the text more of a rectangle and not breaking at every sentence, but just trying to make it all uniform. For 16, again, trying to keep the text as a rectangle, and not change the shape of it here. Also, I noticed it looks like this begins with a space here, and this begins with a space. If we can make sure there's no spaces starting off a line, so it's more lined up, that'd be great. And then also, this is another case where the fins should be widened a little bit. And then 17. So again, if we can make Adam's face just a little bit cuter. Also, I noticed Adam's shoulder in here. I'm not sure what this stuff is. It kind of looks like maybe his arm is in his collar. I'm not sure. And I don't know what this is behind him. So if we could kind of clean that up and make it more obvious as to what that's supposed to be. And then again, trying to keep the text in a rectangle shape and not breaking for every new sentence. And then expanding the fins here. And then 18, again with the text, trying to keep it a rectangle text and a rectangle text box. Taking Jackson's mouth and moving it a little bit more toward the front of his face. And for Adam's mouth, getting rid of the teeth and making his whole mouth look a little bit cuter. And then, let's see, 19. I noticed the thought bubble here. You have a shading here, and it stops here. And so there's no shading over here. If we could continue the shading throughout this part, that would be good. So this page is a great example of it's zoomed out, everything's a little smaller so that we could fit the text in. So that's great there. And again, trying to keep the text more as a rectangle, like don't break the line there. You can put they were, you can put they were here. And then here it looks like Jackson has 3 fingers. So can we fix that so it looks like it's a normal hand? And then again, trying to keep the text in the shape of a rectangle. And then 21. Can we make the stroke, the line around this dotted line? Can we make the black part of it a little bit thinner? And then put black outline around the bone as well. And again, trying to keep this text in a rectangle. Can we also make Adam's tag a little smaller? Down to page 22. Can we please take the rocket fins and make them a little wider? And then trying to keep the text in a rectangle shape. And then here, I noticed on the shading on this side, it kind of cuts off here. And then over here, there's some kind of shadow or something there. I'm not sure what that's for. So if I could fix both sides of that, that'd be great. Thanks a lot, Jim. Appreciate it.